Welcome to Texas for the Auto Pros Truck Series. We're back after most of us has watched a really good ending to a Talladega race. But tonight we're going to start Texas week with the Auto Pros Truck Series here at the mile and a half oval. And we know Jonathan Jennings so far has really dominated the season. So we're going to see if one of these other drivers tonight can step in and try to get in his way a little bit and start getting this points chase a little bit tightened up. But again, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a night race tonight. We're right now sim time. It's about 6:50, which is pretty close to real time here in the Central Time Zone. It's going to be partly cloudy, 72 degrees. Our track temp is 74. Got a really strong southeast wind at 19 miles an hour, so it's be interesting to see if this makes some cars a little tight here as they in the turns here. So we'll see about that. Other than that, we're planning on staying just about the same temperature. It's going to drop a little bit probably by the end of the race. I mean, track temp will be probably around 70 degrees, so we're not going to see too much of a difference. But anyway, Jamie, what are you thinking about tonight? No, I definitely agree with that. I mean, if you just look at four out of the top five drivers right now in practice times are Shoney's racing. So really, really interesting there. I mean, the driver, I guess, closest to them is Eric Anderson in the 43 truck here, running a 468 as his top practice speed. So definitely we'll see who's got something for him. I think there's a couple of these guys that may step it up a little bit. So uh, looking forward to getting this one started. If I look at the 10 lap average, times here, and again, this is a little difficult. Was looking practice because a lot of guys are making short runs and long runs. But right now you got Chris Leftwich is the fastest as far as a 10 lap average, um, and then you got Mike Leftwich is second. So, but tire wear will be a thing here. So let's see what happens. Jonathan Jennings, 10 laps of 590, but his fastest is a 29.382. So a 30.590 down to a 29.382. Is that the race pace we need to see? Mid 30, around 30.5 seconds. Yeah, I think so. All right. Okay. Sounds good. Let's talk about the our sponsors here. If we got a few minutes, we got Auto Pros, our full service auto center in Roxborough, North Carolina. They specialize in foreign and domestic transmission repair, but can also handle all of your everyday auto needs. ASE certified technicians are standing by to help you in your time of need. Call 336 322 3230 if you are in the Roxborough, North Carolina area and you need some service done. And ask for Bill, he'll be sure to take care of you. Also, want to thank Group 6, our supporting sponsor for this series, and also our series sponsor for the Doghouse Cup Series. Rev up your brand's potential with Group 6 at every turn of the Doghouse racing season. As your creative marketing powerhouse, we're here to fuel your success, accelerate your impact, and steer your brand towards victory. Group 6, where every race is an opportunity to outshine and outperform. Discover more at group6inc.com. That's group, the number 6inc.com. Yeah, Mazel was saying there's no sound from the second announcer. I think we got that fixed now, we believe. All right. Mazel, let us know if you can't hear us or something. We appreciate the feedback here because we can't always tell since we're busy talking and can't always be listening to this at the same time. So we appreciate the feedback as we work hard every week to keep getting better and better here. Like we say, we're not necessarily broadcasters. We are racers trying to broadcast. So it makes it a little more difficult for us. A lot to learn. Will do. All right. Chris Leftwich just put a 29.986 on the board for his first lap. Kevin Brown has the 29.797. We're watching Justin McMahon get ready to make his first lap here. Be really interesting to see here on the qualifying times. Track's cooled off a little bit since I'm sure they made those fast laps. So will we get a little bit higher than those .3s as we see a .5 come up by Chris Leftwich? Jonathan Jennings, 468 on lap number 1. Watch Justin McMahon come around to complete his second lap, and he times in at a 5:04, shooting him up to second on the board. That's good lap by Justin. All right, so we don't have much going on the track right now. It looks like we're kind of winding down as we see that Jonathan Jennings did a 468. Like we see that Jonathan Jennings did a 468. Like we see that Jonathan Jennings did a All right, so we're still having issues, I think, with the mic here. So on Jamie's end, so we're gonna I'll take over here until he can get it figured out. But right now, I think we're approaching the end of qualifying here, and it looks like everybody but Chuck Sweeting has a time posted, and it doesn't look like he's going to be posting any time for this. So looks to me like we've got Jonathan Jennings is gonna take the pole for this. You know, he did have the fastest lap. It's interesting though that definitely that was slower than his practice time. He ran a 382, then ran a 468. So it's really interesting here. I was thinking these guys would pick it up a little bit, but may take them more than a couple laps to get really the tires warm up here to be able to put down that fast lap. Could be a third lap is where they would hit that time. So we'll see what happens as we get going here. As they get ready and they're gridding here on pit road. And as we look at the starting lineup, we got Jonathan Jennings on the pole. Starting to his outside, Justin McMahon. Chris Leftwich will start on the inside of row 2, followed by Christopher Simon on row 3. Outside of row 2, Steve Gerber, P5. Mike Leftwich will outside row 3. Jason Ross, P7. Kevin Brown, Tyler Mollett, and Mazel Flores will round out your top 10. Kind of a light showing tonight, but we do have 3 drivers that did not take a qualifying lap that will be gridding at the rear of the field, and that will be Chuck Sweeting, Eric Anderson, and Bill Gentry, who's also going to be doing our race control from in the race tonight. Yeah, Jamie, agree. I think there's plenty of time. This is a long race, and with only 13 trucks gridding tonight, I think there's plenty of time. I mean, stage points is not going to be too hard to come by. Of course, you'd like the most possible, but on the other hand, uh, you can get in that top 10 fairly easy. That's no problem. All right, so the pace car bringing these guys on the back stretch here, and we'll be getting ready to one. I'm sorry, as we just actually coming out of turn number 4. And we got Jonathan Jennings waiting on the Geico restart zone of that green flag to get us going here. Justin McMahon got a really good start on the outside. As Jonathan Jennings gets a little push here from Chris Leftwich, put him out into the lead as Chris tries to take over second place. Justin McMahon drops down in third place. Right behind him, we've got a good battle for 5th between the 00 and the 21. Looks like something happened with Chris Leftwich, and he's off the pace a little bit, dropping back. I'm not sure if he may have touched the wall or got a little loose or something, but looks like he's dropped all the way back here. Probably somewhere around the 5th or 6th position. Just in front of Mike Leftwich's teammate. He's sandwiched between, in fact, Christopher Simon and Mike. Jonathan Jennings out to about a 0.2 of a second lead. Yeah, I got 7 trucks in this lead pack here. They pulled about 0.6 out from Mike in the 7th position, and Tyler and Kevin Brown. Then you got Chuck Sweeting, who is in the 10th position here, who started towards the back of the field. You've got got Jonathan again. Justin just right, giving him all he wants right there on the back bumper. So definitely Justin's got some pace here. It looks like we have several trucks that have some pace here with Jonathan, with Steve Gerber, jumping up to that third spot. Jason Ross looks pretty strong, and he's been running really good lately as he moves in that fourth position, and Christopher Simon as well. We know Chris, he's really good at these mile-and-a-half tracks, and Simon is right now in the fifth position, and he's looking at Ross, and looks like he's just taking his time. Looks like none of these trucks, besides looks like the 13 is trying to take over fifth position right now. But realistically, you've got these trucks look pretty able. Well, now that we say that, the 21 has jumped to the inside of the 00 to try to take over that fourth position. Oh, there's. Yeah, he didn't wreck, but he dang sure all right, apologize still. We're having a few mic issues here still from Jamie, so I'm trying to figure out how we can get this fixed here. But we do know that Jonathan Jennings continues right there in the first position, and Justin McMahon continues to be right on him. He's 2/10 of a second back. 10 lap averages are running about 29.9 range. Pretty much the top four are all running very similar times here. Similar times here. Hey, Chuck Sweeting's really working his way through the pack right now. He's currently working on Mike Leftwich in the sixth position, and he is coming strong. He's followed right in his tracks by Kevin Brown as well in the trackside NASCAR outlet Chevy. He looks like he wants to make a move on Mike as soon as right now he's been a little patient, waiting on Chuck to go ahead and make this pass. At the front, we still got Justin, followed by Jonathan Jennings. I'm Jonathan Jennings, sorry, followed by Justin McMahon with Steve Gerber right there, all within 3/10 of a second of each other. All right, we're trying to get some things fixed at this moment. We apologize. Definitely had some computer updates that did not work out so well for us this time. So we're working on to get everything fixed, and hopefully we'll get through this one and have it much better for next week at North Wilkesboro. But again, Jamie still having some issues with the audio. And
Testing.
also,
That's
we're working on to get everything fixed, and hopefully we'll get through this one and have it much better for next week at North Wilkesboro. But again, Jamie still having some issues with the audio. It's like we got Jamie's mic working now. Uh,
That's
so
been a
looks like
challenge.
hopefully we got things back on track now. We got the screen fixed up. We got Jamie talking again. Y'all don't have to listen to me the whole time, so that should be a win-win. Um, but Jamie, looks like again, I don't see any. I mean, we're about 16 laps in this run, so we're getting close to the time. If there's gonna be some fall off, we're gonna see some fall off on these tires. And right now, Justin just staying right there on Jonathan, just being, looks like he's being kind of patient there. And then you got Steve Gerber, who's just right there with him. I mean, both of them is kind of maintaining very similar gaps, first to thirds, around 3 to 4 tenths of each other. But then we've got a significant gap back to Chris Simon and fourth. So it kind of makes you wonder, is that tire fall off already starting for some of these guys? And the front ones are just managing better.
Yeah, I was watching Simon earlier, probably 8, 10 laps ago, and it looked like he was pushing really hard to get up to where he's at now. So I don't know if he, kind of used the tires up a bit much and put some heat in them. But I'm impressed to see these other two of Adjustment Man and Steve Gerber being able to stay with Jennings so far this evening.
Yeah. Got some really good side-by-side action if we look back at Michael Leftwich and Tyler Millette in the 8th and 9th positions. They have been side-by-side for 1 or 2 laps now. And I tell you what, it's getting to be a really, really good battle back there.
And Millette's looking on the inside of Leftwich there. Not going to be able to do it this time.
No, it's like they got it kind of straightened out there. But, now Jason Ross is going to take advantage of that as it's like Tyler may have got his tires a little heated up on the bottom of Mike there for a couple of laps. And like Jason Ross is going to attempt it, but looks like he's going to drop back right in line there. And it's like Tyler's going to try to cool his tires down a little bit and maybe make another run at Mike here as they battling for the 8th position back there.
Yeah, and I'd say they could probably go, anywhere from 30 to 40 laps on, on fuel you could go longer, but I think on the set of tires, your 40 laps are probably, I think, your max you'll see anybody go. So, you got about 15, 20 more laps you need to continue to manage these tires, and I definitely wouldn't want to pit before the stage in at lap 32.
No, definitely not. I mean, if you think 40, if you can pit it, lap 42, you're split the race into thirds, plus having one more set of tires available if you happen to get a caution somewhere during that. So I think I agree. I think 40 laps or 42 laps, somewhere along in there, is going to be where we're going to see those pit stops at. So we watch Mazel Flores getting the wall a little bit there, but he kept it straight. That's good to see.
Yeah, and with everything going on at the beginning, we never got to talk about our picks for the night, so it's kind of spread out right now. This might be a good time.
Yeah, can we change them? No, I'm not gonna change them. We got them. We got them written down. So you got them in the app. So we'll stick with it.
Yeah, so your pick for the night is going to be Chuck Sweeting, currently sitting in 6th place.
Yeah, I mean he's come up through there. He's kind of backed off a little bit, but he's gaining on Chris, and he's definitely coming through the field from the back. Starting, I believe he started back in the 11th position, 11th or 12th. So he's definitely slowly working his way through the field, and looks like he's fixing to make a pass to get into the top 5. So I'm gonna stick with my pick here. I have no choice, but I'm still sticking with it anyway.
Good pick, I think. I'm going to go with Eric Anderson tonight. He's been close each week, staying up there in the front, and then has some bad luck. I think tonight's going to be the night he turns that around and gets it done.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, Eric's got some damage out there already, so we'll see. Hopefully he can get a caution and get it repaired, but right now running back in the 12th position. So I think right now he's just trying to bide his time until he can get to pit road.
Hate to see that already. And the wild card pick for the night is going to be Steve Gerber. Out of all of them, he seems to be doing the best. Look like the AI knew what they were talking about better than we did.
Yeah, I think Steve is going to be a good, a good pick for tonight. We'll see how he does. He fell off a little bit of the front two. Front two's, staying right there. Looking at lap times, you've got your 10 lap average for Jonathan, 37.704. Justin's right there with him at a 726. But Gerber's, at like an 840. So they're all pretty close to each other. We can start to see now, though, the tire wear, I think, is starting to kick in a little bit. Jonathan's starting to expand his lead little by little, about a tenth or two a lap. And, that seems to be looking like that through the field if we're starting to see this tire wear is really kicking in. And we're starting to see the gaps between each position grow just a little bit. So we could see some positions flip here before you know it. As some of these guys that's got a little bit better tire wear, going to start working their way through the field a little faster, and just like Jonathan's going to start expanding his lead a little bit. So I think some of these guys is going to be really excited to get to this first round of pit stops.
Yeah, and something I did just notice, so like the lap before, Jennings and McMahon both caught that wall coming out of turn 4 a little bit. So that's going to be something you need to watch out for tonight. There's only so many hits you're going to be able to do to that wall before you start getting some damage.
Yeah, I agree. That turn 4 wall is going to be something. I know I've gotten into it plenty of times here at Texas. So as the tires start wearing, you start really getting tight off of 4. And you really got to be careful how you're backing that corner up so you can keep that momentum off of there. And if you just get in that gas just a little too soon, though, you'll go right up and scrape that outside wall. And not only does it hurt your truck possibly, but it also ruins all your momentum there through the troval.
Yeah, and looking back at Kevin Brown, he's currently sitting in the 7th place position. He's been having some pretty good runs the last several weeks. I think he's had a few finishes where it hasn't gone his way how he would like it, but he's been consistently getting to where we see him in the top 10 every single week. So I think he's made some improvements to that truck.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Definitely. He's getting better and better at this trucks, and the more we went a long time in the league without racing trucks, and bringing these back on Sundays, it takes a little while to get used to these trucks because they're just not as fast. I'm just gonna be honest, and they've also they made some changes to the physics on these trucks here to better match real life, and so they're definitely even different to drive than back in the day when we did drive them, to where honestly they were fairly easy to drive. They're a little bit harder to drive now, but it's good to see it. It's turned into a really good series. However, again, we've still got the one person that's really been dominating this series,
Yeah,
and he seems to have them figured out.
yeah, he does. And we're coming to the end of stage 1 when they cross the line this time. Again, we've highlighted in blue who will get stage points as they run currently. Looks like Jonathan Jennings going to pick up the win for stage 1 and get those 10 points. Justin McMahon in 2nd. Steve Gerber 3rd. Christopher Simon 4th. Chuck Sweeting 5th. Chris Leftwich 6th. Kevin Brown 7th. Mike Leftwich 8th. Tyler Millette 9th. And Jason Ross will get the final stage point, finishing in 10th.
Yeah, so some good stage points for some of these people again. Jonathan working on maximizing his points again, which is going to be important as we start seeing the drop races hit towards the end of the season here. And so looking at, when you look at the top 5, we've really got, Chuck Sweeting, who's probably been, and Steve Gerber's been probably the most competitive there, along with even Chris Leftwich. Chris Simon's, coming on, but he's had to miss a race. But again, he'll get that back as we start dropping races. So we'll see standings maybe change a little bit with him. But we got Chuck Sweeting now, who's making a move up to 4th position. So again, he's definitely one of the fastest trucks on the track right now. And I think he just ran his last 10 average was a 31.173. He was second fastest to Jonathan's 31.066. Difference is Chuck is not in clean air at all. He's been passing trucks, so be really curious to see what's going to happen to him if he can actually get some clean air. And I think if he can get a caution here at some point and tighten this field up again, he might have a chance to challenge Jonathan tonight.
I agree. And we see pit stops that started. We got Mike Leftwich currently in the pits.
Yeah, and that's not a really bad move if like Mike is fell back a little bit. So I think that's a really good move for him to really come in, go ahead and get the fresh tires, get that advantage. At this point, you could probably make it on just one more stop, but it's definitely you're gonna have a really long tire run if you do that. So a lot longer than this one. So he's probably banking on a caution, but if he can get the situation just right to where he can make that caution happen after he's been on the track and everybody else has made their pit stop and he's got more of advantage of new tires than them. He may work in his favor a little bit, especially when you get up to the possibly the second stage, at the end of the second stage there, to where he can gain enough position to where he can earn some points.
Yeah, this is, I'd say it's scheduled. This is about when I thought you'd start seeing people start coming down, get those tires. I like the call, especially if you already fell back a good bit. You got to do something different to try to get yourself some time gained back. So I like the call by him.
Now we got Chuck Sweeting, who has Steve Gerber, I believe, has hit pit road, so that's going to put Sweeting up into 3rd position. As Gerber says, it's time to get some fresh tires, and he's right at the point where he's going to split it fairly evenly through the race. I mean, I'll be a lap or two here and there, but he's it's really it's not a bad spot to go and make a pit stop and get a little bit more of a tire advantage up front. I'd expect to see some of these other guys doing the same thing.
And I would expect you probably within the next 5 laps you would see your leader come in and pit. He's probably going to want to wait for 2nd place, 3rd place to start, and then he's going to go. Just my guess.
Yeah, and I think that is not what Justin or Chuck would want to see, in my opinion. Is they probably hopes he stays out longer and they can get a little bit of an advantage on him to gain some of that time. But we'll see as they're really starting to fall back. As as far as Justin, at least, I mean, Chuck is kind of the same. He's maintaining about the same gap to Jonathan as he's had since he got in 3rd position. But Justin's fell back to about 3.5 seconds now.
Yeah, I think that's what Jennings has figured out over everybody is how to be fast and manage those tires at the same time.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's about 2.5 tenths faster than Justin, and Sweeting and Jennings are almost the exact same lap time. So again, pretty much the rest of the field is pretty far back as far as lap time from what Jonathan and Chuck is.
And as we're watching Jason Ross come back on the track from getting his service complete.
Yeah, we look back at at this race, and Doghouse Racing League has raced trucks at this track 6 times, and each we've averaged like two cautions a race, about 7 lead changes a race. Of course, we haven't seen a lead change this race. No cautions yet. There's no winner of a past race in the field tonight, which is pretty amazing, to be honest. So Jonathan hasn't won in Doghouse Racing League at Texas as far as in the trucks are concerned. Adam Gardner, who races with us full time in Cup Series, and he does race sporadically as he can in trucks. He has got 4 out of 6 wins here. So, and then you've got Kevin Thompson and Kevin Powell has a win apiece. So of course none of them on the race on the on the track tonight. So Jonathan definitely has a chance to get on the board with a win here at Texas, and everybody's also got a chance to get their first win in the league. So let's see as far as at Texas. So let's see how we go here. See if Chuck can get up there and do battle. But right now the top 3 still has decided it's not time to pit, and I'm pretty surprised at that. I'll be honest. I think it's getting about time.
Yeah, I would have thought that, lap 45 would have been the max, but I mean, with 100% fuel, they could probably realistically go to the end of stage 2. If you have the tires left to do it. I did just notice Jason Ross has posted the fastest lap of the race. Um, Glad to see he's got a fast truck, but it kind of concerns me that you're running that hard, this early on those new tires. Hopefully it works out for him. He's the driver, not me, so he knows what he's doing. So.
Yeah, just kind of give everybody a view of kind of where we're at here, on times. I mean, we got Steve Gerber, who just ran a 30.1. Jonathan just ran a 31.1. So there's about a 1 second difference right now in tire wear. And remember, Steve Gerber's been on the track a little while. He pitted back, I believe, at lap 39. So, he's been out there about 7 or 8 laps. So you think about it, you start gaining a second a lap. He's gained 8 seconds on the leader. Now when Jonathan pits, he's gonna lose that time to Steve, but then he's gonna have the fresher tire, so he's gonna be able to get that back. So who will be the leader after everybody pits would be a question, and looks like Jonathan is about to pit. So where's that going to fall out, and will there be a timely caution there for these guys that did pit early, to where they can see maybe get back on the same as everybody else? But the problem you have, I guess, if a caution did come out, then Jonathan would not need to pit at that point, so you're going to the back, so maybe it doesn't even matter. So
yeah, some of these drivers just had a scare moment. Mazel Flores looked it around a little bit, trying to get slowed down and get in pit road, and luckily he was off the track far enough it didn't cause a caution. But that could have changed the complexion of this race a little bit, as Justin McMahon's going to take it in pit road now. That's going to turn the lead over to Bill Gentry.
Yeah, I think I see what Bill's doing here, and I think it's not a bad idea. Bill's like, I'm pretty far back. Let's run this thing all the way out and see if we can get a caution. Not a bad move at all. Plus, I mean, I don't know exactly how far they can go on gas. I don't know if they can make it. I don't think they can make it to, say, lap 60. Really 62 would be halfway. I think that's stretching a little far, but I'm not on the track, so I can't tell you. But he may be just trying to make it as far as he possibly can. And say, I'm going to have the freshest tires when I do pit.
And he,
just like he's pitting in now.
Is he?
Yeah.
So he's had a good teacher, Josh Kelly. We hadn't seen him in a couple of weeks in the trucks, but if there's somebody that can teach you how to save fuel, that is the man.
Yes, he can. He can also teach you how to start in the back and wind up in the front every race. So I would like to see what he can do when he starts up front. I'll put it that way. I don't know if we can talk him into that. We'll try.
Yeah, he's He's proven he can get from the back to the front. So maybe if you try to qualify 1 week and start up front, he might just leave everybody.
Yep. All right, so we cycled through, and looks like Steve Gerber has the lead by about 5 seconds over Jonathan Jennings, and Jonathan gained about 9/10 that last lap. It looks like, so not quite, but looking at, yeah, he actually did. If you look at, Gerber ran a 30.597, Jonathan ran a 29.826. So you're probably about 5 laps away from seeing Jonathan retake this lead.
You got the stage in coming at lap 63, and you know what they say, catching them is one thing, but passing them is another. And Steve Gerber is not just going to give it to him; he's going to make him earn it.
Yeah, he will. He will. I just think that Jonathan's going to catch him so fast. There's not going to be much he can do with him. Looking at Jonathan, just knocked another 9/10 of a second off of his off the lead.
Yeah, that's the one thing about pitting earlier than that much earlier than the leader. I like the call get off strategy, but when he's got that much fresher tires, it's going to be hard to hold him off.
But if you run this out long enough, and you can say, drop back to second, and he'll have a decent gap between Jonathan and Chuck, which is running third. And then if you get a caution right there and you've ran enough laps, everybody will pit. So Steve was running, I think, in fourth when he pitted. He just got passed for third. So he can use this to advantage for sure if he can hold on to second place long enough, and again, it gets enough laps on Chuck and Jonathan's tires that they're going to want to come in and pit. Got a good battle. We're about to have a good battle for the lead, but just kind of update while we watch this battle for the lead up there. We've got decent battles back in the pack, especially between Justin McMahon and Chris Leftwich. So there is some battles throughout the field here, as we've got the people with some newer tires and older tires.
Yeah, Jonathan got him, made it look easy.
Yeah,
Difference of the newer tires, but
yeah, he did, and I think Steve knew. Look, he's faster. There's nothing I can do. So let him pass. I got what I wanted to out of this. I gained some position, so now he's a couple seconds ahead of, well, probably about 1.5 seconds ahead of Chuck Sweeting, which will probably be to him within the next 3 to 4 laps. So again, Steve he's going to have to decide. Is he got a strategy to where he's going to stop 3 times? I don't know if there's not a caution, or is he just going to try to make it on 2 like most of the rest of this field will. My guess is he's going to have to try to just make it on 1 more stop, or else I think he probably. I don't think there's enough gain right now in taking 3 stops compared to 2. I'll tell you what I'm seeing, though, that's kind of interesting is when these pit stops started, Chuck was about 5 seconds behind Jonathan. He's now 2 seconds behind Jonathan. So he has gained. He's steadily gaining on Jonathan here. So now, is he burning his tires up this time? He didn't last time, to get to Jonathan. I don't know. But, as we look at times here, that his 10-lap average is just a tick faster than Jonathan's.
Yeah, I've been watching them, and it looks like they're swapping 1 lap. One's faster than the other, and then the next one, the other one's faster. That time, Jennings was 2/10 quicker than Sweeting. getting ready to start the last lap of stage number 2.
So it looks like Jonathan again. He's going to take advantage of these stage points and again 20. He's going to gain 20 stage points here, which is really you can't get any better than that. Plus, most likely going to lead every lap, lead a lap plus lead the most laps. I'm not saying every lap, but most laps, which is going to give him really maximizing the stage and bonus points for this race. No matter what his finish is, he's still going to have one heck of a points night.
Yeah, capitalizing and getting all those stages, that's a huge deal. Pull up the points again while we're sitting here. No, I don't know, Daniel. At this point in the season, after tonight, it's going to be hard for even second place to be able to catch anything in the points. You're looking at 403 points coming in tonight. Chris Leftwich back at 286. Gerber at 276.
I mean, we're exactly halfway through the season after tonight. And yeah, I mean, if you start looking at drop races and all that, I mean, somebody's going to have to pretty much dominate the rest of the season with winning most of the races, or if not winning them, winning both stages and getting second place, to try to really even have a chance of coming close. And I think at that point still it's going to be really difficult. So I think there's second place is not a bad thing. So I mean, top 3 gets trophy. So let's try to get a trophy here is the way I look at it. And I think as we go through the season, we are starting to see people. I mean, the positive thing that I'm seeing here, we see a few people that's really starting to get better. It's like each week they're making progress, and and so again, I don't think that it's going to be. I don't think the second half of the season is going to be quite as dominant as the first half. I hope. I mean, I may be wrong, but I think we start getting into some tracks that maybe some of these other people can take a little advantage, as we saw, and especially like Seth Fitzpatrick last week. He jumps in the race and he gets the win. He'll be coming back, I'm sure, another race or two during the season. So again, we've still got a Talladega race to go, so a lot can happen. But I agree, it's going to be really difficult for somebody to win the championship over Jonathan. But definitely think that battle for second and third is going to be worth watching.
Yeah, and I mean, you never know what could happen. I mean, 3, 4 bad weeks, and all of a sudden somebody's up there. So you can't give up this early or midway in, not this early. You can't give up, but like you said, second, third, they're already tight right now, so it's going to be a tight end of the season as we start heading that way in it.
So, Jonathan has started to stretch that out on Chuck. We can see from first to second place. Steve Gerber is almost 10 seconds back in third. We still have the top 10 on the lead lap. And Mike Leftwich is our last car in the 10th position on the lead lap. And, he's got he's probably 9 or 10 seconds. So he's got a chance of staying on the lead lap tonight. We'll see. But, let's see what happens as we go through this and get through another pit stop here. But, I think it's going to take a mistake at this point on pit road for Jonathan not to have a very good opportunity to win this race.
Trying to look back, do you remember how or what lap the Ford Bill Gentry pitted?
It was late. I mean, we was looking it was 50, 52, somewhere along in there.
I'm not the best at math, but if he's able to save a few laps, I don't know, he might not have to pit again.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're talking going 75, 76 laps. Yeah, I don't think he can make it that far. I think he would need a few cautions. Um, I think he would have needed to stay out another, 4 or 5. I definitely think when he pitted at lap 50, he probably could have made it to lap 60. I mean, that's only think about lap 50 here is what 75 miles. They can make it further than that on gas. So, um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, my math was off. You think it's
But
bad up here? You should see me in the car driving. This is why I need a crew chief to tell me what to do.
exactly, I understand that. Well, now that we're past halfway, let's give another shout out to Auto Pros, your full service auto center in Roxborough, North Carolina. They specialize in foreign and domestic transmission repair, but can also handle all of your everyday auto needs. ASE certified technicians are standing by to help you in your time of need. Call 336 322 3230. If you are in the Roxborough, North Carolina area, you can even ask for Bill and he can make sure that you are taken care of. And I think our other, sponsors of the league, we got Group 6, we have Shoney's, we have Butt Kicker that's came on board as well. Um, we have Trackside, NASCAR Outlet, Map Daddy Racing. Um, so we have, KDR Designs, I guess, SNR Designs. We've got several, a lot of good sponsors here that really has helped this league out. And if I missed anybody, I apologize, but I think I got out all of them. And, we really, really appreciate the support. So just kind of looking down through the lineup to see, where are we on lap times. And it's like the gap between Chuck and Jonathan is kind of stabilized. I mean, Jonathan's probably about a tenth faster each lap, 1 to 2 tenths faster each lap. Justin McMahon is actually a little bit faster than Chuck now, but he's moved into that third position, and he's a good ways back right now, still 11 and a half seconds behind the leader. So the top three, it's pretty spread out here, and then the fourth, you got Steve Gerber, and Justin's kind of pulling away from him. Chris Leftwich is rounding out your top five. Christopher Simon, Tyler Millette, Jason Ross, Kevin Brown, and Mike Leftwich is 6th through 10th, with Bill Gentry in 11th, Eric Anderson in 12th, and Mazel Flores is in 13th position.
Yeah, I've been looking over the last probably 5 laps. It looks like the only two drivers on the track right now in the 30s is going to be Justin and Jennings.
Christopher Simon, who has caught his teammate Chris Leftwich here, trying to make a play for the top five as we sit here and watch this battle on the track. This is probably our closest battle right now that we have on the track.
So, unique paint scheme that Chris Leppich is running this week.
Yeah, it sure is.
Jennings is getting ready to put his teammate of the 60, Mike Leftwich, a lap down here in the next lap or so.
Yeah, Mike, I didn't say it's just too long ago. It was like 9 seconds probably from going a lap down, and now you can see that, Mike is just on him. So, I think, Mike pitted fairly early that last stop, so he's probably definitely his tires are way older than Jonathan's. You got Mike, who's running, 31 fours. So, you got Jonathan's about half second a lap faster, I guess, something like that. So let's see if he cuts his teammate a break here and tries to let him stay on the lead lap, but I don't know. I don't think he will. I think he's going to go ahead and put him a lap down.
Yeah, he starts losing too much time. Chuck Sweeting will start narrowing that down quickly.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking too. I mean, it's like Chuck's losing a lot of ground to him. I mean, he's 4.5 seconds back, and it wouldn't take too long of Jonathan riding behind Mike to gain. I mean, I just saw that one lap he gained 3/10 as Jonathan was getting ready to pass Mike, and we saw Christopher Simon moves up into the top 5.
Passes his teammate Chris Leftwich with his Armstrong. Is that Armstrong muscle? Am I reading that right?
I think so. I think it is. I can't. My eyes are not the best.
That's because you're looking at the hood of the truck, I know.
Probably.
Looks like Jennings was able to get around Mike, and now Mike's job is to try to stay the first truck one lap down.
Yeah, and I should be able to do that. I mean, him and Bill is in the 11th place, is running a pretty similar lap times. We got some pitting starting here. We got Kevin Brown. Looks like he's gonna bring it in. It looks like is that Bill?
We
I
got
can't
Chris
tell.
Leftwich right here.
Is this Chris? Okay. Yeah, Chris. I'm sorry.
Steve Gerber looks like he's bringing it in now. Jason Ross. Yeah, that it looks like Mazel Flores slow on the track.
Wonder if he missed the pits or.
Oh, hang on to it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
that's going to be
having
some
some
heavy
issues.
contact.
He's down off the track, so. Oh, we have a
Uh,
caution.
Man,
That was not the best time for a caution by no means for some of these guys. I think. I mean, this is what Tyler Mollett and Simon and Man wanted to see.
it helps them out. They're sitting right now glad they hadn't made their pit stop yet.
Yeah, that was a bad time. And what was strange is why iRacing would throw that caution when he was clearly off the racing surface. So that is really weird.
Yeah, and
But
it,
that was kind of that's the definitely the talk on the track.
yeah, not a wise decision by the driver to stop it there. You always want to go ahead and. I mean, I understand you damaged, but drive it on around to the pits and get out from there as long as you're able to drive it.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's always the safest bet.
Imagine you're going to see quite a few drivers take the wave around here that had just went into
And
the
that's
pits.
and that's the positive thing here. All these guys are going to get back on the lead lap. At least everybody that's one lap down right now will find their way back on it. Now, those that have not pitted, that's a lap down, they're going to have to pit or they don't have to, I guess. But if they don't, then they're going to just have to pit soon anyway.
Yeah,
But hey, is it worth the gamble? Probably. I mean, in my opinion, I'd hope for another quick caution. Just stay out. I mean, you're already a lap down. That's what you're going to lose pitting anyway.
And I mean, we've seen time after time in many races, real life, cautions breed cautions. So you never know what might happen once we go back green.
Definitely going to be interesting here, though. I mean, we know we've seen Chuck Sweeting has the pace, and he's going to be starting behind Jonathan. We have nobody on the lead lap that is, that's going to be able to, that's going to be ahead of them. They're pretty much going to be on 1-2. I believe Bill Gentry was the one to get the waiver, get the lucky dog there, which is good for him, which means he can make a stop to where the waiver on cars cannot. So I think this might have worked out really well for Bill. Uh,
We got Adjustment Man sitting in a good spot in third. That first stint, we seen him hang right there with Jonathan for 26 laps. So, he's going to have about 36 laps. So then once we go back green, so if he can figure out how to save him just a little bit longer, he might can get back up there and challenge Jonathan for this win.
I agree. I think Justin, we know he can be aggressive, right? He's not scared to put it in there if he has to make a move. I mean, he's will not wreck you, but he will be aggressive. So he's definitely that. I mean, you got Chris Simon here, um, who's also just really good at these mile and a half. So these top four, I tell you, they may we'll see what happens. But even Tyler Millett's back in it now. What a start for the inside row. Justin got one heck of a start and is able to take that second position from Chuck Sweeting.
And that was a great start on him. Timed that perfectly.
Yeah, and I mean, Justin, look at this move right here. Looks like he's going to take a look at the inside to try to get the lead from Jonathan.
Side by side coming out of four.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting here for sure. Justin's looks like he's going to get a lap lead there at the line. Now, what's going to prevail? That bottom or will that top? Looks like a bottom. Looks like Justin's going to take the lead there with after a really good start. Chuck Sweeting looks like he accidentally got into Jonathan just a little bit there as he's going to move down and try to take second position.
Good save by Jennings. Got a little bit squirrely there from.
Oh, here we go. Chuck to the Chuck's here now. He's saying, "Okay, I'm gonna go take the lead." Man, this is good to see. I mean, I hate to see the caution come out, but hey, we're getting a little action here. As Chris Simon's like, "Okay, if y'all wreck, I'm right here to take advantage of it." And Steve Gerber or Tyler Millette with all these guys battling in front, it's bringing them right back into the mix as he's now looking to make a move on Christopher Simon for possibly fourth position.
Five truck breakaway at the moment as Jennings is going to dive it down going into three, try to take back over that lead. Going to get it complete there. Sweeting giving him a little push saying, "Hey, I'm still here."
He's still there. He knows that if he don't stay with him, it's over. He knows Jonathan has the long run here. Of all of these in the top five here, Jonathan will save tires. Now, here's the thing, though. He's getting pushed hard, so I don't think anybody's saving tires right now.
No, I think
they are running some fast laps.
I think they are giving it everything this truck's got at the moment.
Good clean racing, though, is what we like to see, and that's what we're seeing. And definitely, they are swapping positions as Justin McMahon tries to retake second position from Chuck. like Chuck's going to have some momentum there, though, that he can pull the crossover here as we get through the Troval.
McMahon going to shut the door on him from doing that one. It looks like the bottom lane is the more dominant lane tonight.
It is. You know, in the past, you can get a run off that top, but it seems like right now, I agree. It looks like if you got the bottom, then you have the position. So it's going to be very important if you do get out front like Jonathan is, just hug that white line and say, if you're going to pass me, you got to do it on the outside.
You got Simon and Millette still hanging on right there.
I tell you, the draft seems to be, you know, really playing a effect in this, you know, with these trucks here, especially early in the runs. You know, looks like if you are in that draft, you can pretty much stay with these guys. Once you lose that draft, though, you're losing some serious time, as we can see at, you know, as Bill Gentry, you know, is up to, you know, 6th position here, and remember he was, you know, he was back 1 lap down in 11th position, and here's Bill, you know, in 6th place. But you know, again, he's not in this draft. He is with some cars here, so he's able to pretty much run some good lap times. So the question is, when I think that you're going to see these top 3 really start breaking away here at some point, just the way it's looking at least.
I'd say probably another 5-10 laps. It's kind of what we've seen in the first stage. And up to about lap 25, 26, you know, it was kind of a battle between Jennings, McMahon, and I don't think Sweeting was up there at that point. I can't remember who was in third then, but I think it's going to be a matter of not burning it up, and you need those final 10 laps that you didn't have earlier to stay right there with Jennings to challenge him there at the end. But like you pointed out earlier, I mean, they were all 3 running really hard there at the start of that, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we saw last, you know, Rockingham, right, that, you know, Jonathan burned his tires up, and that Jonathan never burnt his tires up, but he did, you know, and Seth was right there with him, which is, you know, like I said, it normally doesn't happen that way. You know, don't get me wrong, Rockingham, you know, Texas wears tires, Rockingham really wears tires, so there is a difference there. But again, they're pushing Jonathan. You know, again, we'll see what happens as we get later in this run. I mean, if we look at the past runs, you know, I agree with you. I think we're going to see, you know, a little bit longer of this, another 10 laps or so now, and then I think, you know, we might start seeing some separation. I hope we don't. I hope they all stay this close the whole time, and we just really have a good finish.
Yeah, and if I'm Sweeting, you know, I don't know if this is his thought process or not, but I'd kind of, you know, let McMahon go pressure Jennings, let them two both go kind of battle some, wear out your tires, sit here and save mine a little bit, and be ready to pounce if they do burn them up.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe he is, right? Maybe he's just riding right now. I don't know. But I have a feeling they're both having to push pretty hard just to stay with Jonathan right now. But how hard is Jonathan running? You know, that's another question. Is Jonathan really all out? I mean, I'm looking, he just ran a 242. We know he can run faster than that right now at this point in a run. I mean, he can get down, you know, closer to probably the 30 flats. But so can these other guys. So we'll see. I just, like I said, how hard is Jonathan pushing? How hard is Justin pushing? Does he really want to round Jonathan, or is he like, you know what? I know if I pass him now, I'm gonna burn my stuff up to pass him. I won't even have a chance.
Good points right there. It's a pretty good battle we were watching on screen a minute ago with Chris Leftwich and Jason Ross. Ross was able to get that pass done and start to pull away from Leftwich a little bit.
Yeah, this is really starting to mirror that first run, except the difference is we had Gerber running in that third position and not Chuck Sweeting. You look at the top five, we got Christopher Simon, he's done dropped back about a second behind this top three. Tyler Mollette's running about 3/10 behind him, and then we're looking all the way back to about another 4 seconds or so back to Steve Gerber, who's got a little bit of a lead over Bill Gentry, who's in seventh, and all of our other drivers are 1 lap down.
Yeah, what a recovery from Bill, and it's good to see him having a good night.
I tell you, Bill's pit strategy really helped him tonight. He stayed out a long time that first time. He did it. He was going to stay out again that second time, and he pitted at just the right time to where these leaders had pitted, or most of them. He was the first car 1 lap down. He got the lucky dog, which means he was also able to pit. And here he is running really 11th place probably most of the night. Now running 7th, that's fantastic for him. I'm really happy for Bill. He had a really solid run Thursday night as well in the Cup Series race, finishing 8th at Talladega. So this is another good run here for Bill. It's a couple races in a row because we know he's had some bad luck this season. He's had a lot of things not of his doing happen that has caused him a lot of heartbreak. After I know he puts a lot into these races as far as practicing and things, and as well like tonight he's also helping run race control for this while he races, and it's not easy to run race control while you race. So it takes a couple positions away from you, in my opinion. So you're doing a good job.
Yes, sir. As McMahon is not letting Jennings go.
No, he's not. You've seen Chuck's drop back just about 3 or 4 truck lengths behind these guys. The question is, I'm curious, how does, I don't know if you remember, but I remember there is some draft here at Texas, and and I do know that in the past, you know, if you're in this 3 breakaway, you're good. But if your tires start wearing out and you lose that draft a little bit from the cars in front of you, you fall back fairly quickly. Do you remember the same thing?
Yeah, and I'm watching McMahon look like he kind of starting to push up a little bit out of the corner, and that's really going to hurt him. Staying in that draft is good. I think that's what's kept everybody or these three so close is being able to run about the same lap times and stay in that draft together. But as the tires start wearing, I think you're going to see them start dropping back further and further.
Yeah, I'm just watching how Jonathan's able to come out of these turns, and you can just see that he doesn't look like he's fighting the truck at all. To where, again, especially right here, it's not necessarily, but where I really see it is in turn 1 and coming out of 2. It's like Jonathan is able to keep it a little bit lower than these guys, and he'll probably prove me wrong this time, maybe, but he's just really able to cycle around where the others are pushing up just a little bit. You see McMahon kind of pushed up just a little bit and came back down into the line. It just seems to me that he's, again, just may have a little bit better tire wear right now than the 2 behind him.
Yeah. It's kind of that time frame I was talking about. They need to go about 10, 12 laps longer than what they went the first stage to be able to stay right there on him. And looks like we're starting to see the same as stage 1 start falling off at this point in the run. Further back and forth, we have Christopher Simon in 5th place, the 94 Tyler Millette. Steve Gerber sitting in 6th, so probably not the run he wanted, but not a bad night overall.
No, I mean, he had a little different pit strategy that really didn't work out for him very well. You know, again, like Bill, it worked out. You know, Steve was hoping to go a little bit better with that, you know, pitting a little earlier than some of these guys did that first time, and he was running that second time a little bit longer. Then, you know, the untimely caution, that gets you a lap down, and then you have to take a wave around and can't pit again. So he's got definitely a little bit older tires than these guys. So, you know, again, he just pit strategy didn't quite work out for him, but, you know, I think, yeah, not a bad night at all. But I think he did what he thought he had to do to try to have a chance here, and sometimes it works out, and sometimes it don't. As we come to, I think we got 9 laps to go here, and so you know, really, we're getting down towards the end of this race. Like I said, Jamie, it's starting to really tell that you know tires are now having an impact. As Jonathan draws that lead out to about a half a second. Chuck Sweeting looks like you know he's just starting to fade back. You know, and it looks like, in fact, he may have to watch out because Christopher Simon is coming in on him pretty quickly. And Simon and Millette's pretty close together of a battle. So, you know, we could. You know, the question is, will we see? You know, third place may be up for grabs right here.
Yeah, the last few laps, Sweeting's been falling back quickly.
Again, you've
Or,
got.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was say, or Simon and Millette been given the go ahead, and they're going to start trying to make up some ground.
Yeah, I think it comes down to their drafting, right? I mean, I think that's part of it. Is now Simon's got Chuck's draft, and he's going to pull in on him. Um, you know, before they were close enough together, they was having some benefits of running together, to where Chuck lost his drafting partners there, um, and now the question is, we'll see how this draft works out. If these three stay in line a little bit, you know, will they make up some ground on Justin, who has now fell back from Jonathan's draft? So, you know, should be interesting here. But I do think Simon has a really good chance at getting a podium here tonight. Which, yeah, I tell you what, he just continues. He's Mr. Consistency, in my opinion, here in the league.
Got to say that he has shown week after week that he's getting better and better, and he's always in the front consistently. So kudos to him.
The last lap, Justin was just a tick faster than Jonathan, so maybe they've kind of leveled out on pace here. Unless Jonathan has decided, okay, now I'm just going to kind of save my tires, manage the gap just in case we get some type of green-white checkered. But if Justin can get to where he sniffs that draft just a little bit again, he may have a chance. I mean, we don't have much time, so I think it's going to be tough because we've only got a few laps left here.
He's slowly gaining. He lost a little bit there coming out of 4.
Yeah, I think Justin's pushing just a little bit more than Jonathan out of these corners here, and sometimes when you get in the air of the car in front of you, it can make you push a little worse at times. Even though you may have that draft to your advantage, you got less air going across the nose of your car, and depending on where it is, it will make you push up. As we got a good battle here. We got another battle as Simon is also. So we've got the 60 and the 33.
Banging doors.
About caused us a late race caution here, and that would have not been what Jonathan wanted to see. That's exactly what he does not want to see, because these guys have a set of tires left in the pits. So caution right now would not be good, as we got 2 laps to go. But Jonathan's going to take that white flag, and he's like, okay, once I get this white flag, y'all do what the heck y'all want to do. Christopher Simon, that pretty much second to last lap pass there, and Chuck's going to try to come back on that outside to get him, but I tell you what, good battle here.
Yeah, it is.
We got Jonathan Jennings coming around off turn number 4. He's going to take the win. I believe that's his 6th on the season as he continues to dominate. Well, we got him coming down right there to the line, and we got Christopher Simon taking 3rd place. Chuck Sweeting in 4th. And we got Tyler Millette in 5th. Justin McMahon winds up 2nd place. Really solid run.
Bill Gentry gonna close the night out with a 7th.
Yeah, and Gerber 6th. So, yeah, you got Chris Leftwich, Jason Ross, Kevin Brown rounding out your top 10 there, even though the S3 was 1 lap down. I mean, still a really good race. I tell you, was excited there at the end. Justin did not let him get away.
No, he didn't. Impressive, and I know we didn't want a late race caution, but it could have got interesting if they all had some fresh tires and had a quick shootout.
Like Jonathan gonna give us a good photo shoot there on the 500.
Yeah, he is.
I think all tracks ought to have a victory lane you can get to. That's just my opinion here on iRacing. But that'll be good enough for now.
I'd have to do some studying to figure out how you get to it.
Yeah, I don't win as much as him, so I definitely would have to practice during practice sessions. All right. So looking at our finishing order here, again, we got Jonathan Jennings with the win, Justin McMahon in 2nd, and Christopher Simon in 3rd. That's our podium positions there. That's going to be heading down to the waiting room and waiting on them to get there, and we can do our post-race interviews.
Yes, sir. Looks like we got all 3 of them there. We'll go ahead and start with our race winner of Jonathan Jennings. Jonathan, Daniel, and Jamie in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
It looked like you had the truck on rails tonight. Tell us about tire wear and how the truck was feeling.
I mean, I don't have an issue with tire wear this week, luckily. The track felt way better than what I practiced last night. So the weird thing is, you can get tight in 1 and 2, and as the run went on, you get loose in 3 and 4, especially that first run. So that was kind of a weird way for it to go.
Yeah. What do you think? That last caution there came out, and I'm still not sure why iRacing threw it. Looking at 027, he was well off the track. But anyway, what was your thoughts when that last caution came out? Guess you was glad you hadn't pitted yet there.
Yeah, but I can't tell you exactly what I was thinking. But nah, I know I needed. I had Chuck on I think I had a few laps on him on tire that previous stop, and I was gaining a little bit. I was trying to get a bigger gap, and when you do that, it just opens up your book to do a few other things and put you in a better spot. And the caution just reset that. But yeah, luckily I wasn't on pit road when it came out this time.
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely a caution. I know it wasn't right in the middle of a pit cycle. It kind of shook things up a little bit. Some drivers it helped, other drivers it didn't help very much. So, yeah, it turned out really good for you. But looked like like I said, you had a very dominant truck tonight. Now, I tell you what, we was noticing, and just kind of get your view on this is, it seemed like most top 3 to 5 could stay together for a little while. Did you find the draft as helping that a little bit? That and then once as cars started tire wearing, then they would fall off, and then you could kind of pull away. Was there? Did you? Oh, she was out front most of the time, but was the draft really playing a little part of that tonight?
Um, I think so, because I noticed a few times Justin got some massive runs um on me. So there's a little bit of draft, but I don't think it's like a super speedway style deal. But I don't know. I'm not no scientist, so what do I know?
For sure. Well, Jonathan, we appreciate it. Good, definitely good run tonight. Congratulations on another win this season. And we'll let you get on to your night. But do you have any shout outs?
But yeah, you guys for the broadcast, teammates for everything they do, all the admins putting this stuff together. Sorry, my stuff's loud in the background. All the sponsors that pitch in to help the league. I think it's find it. The Auto Pros, yeah, Auto Pro Service. Shoney's obviously Group 6. And all the others that pitch in to help the league out. It helps out, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, we appreciate it. Congratulations again. And tell you what, you're on a roll here after this last couple wins at Talladega. So sure we'll see you Tuesday night.
All right. Thank you.
Congratulations. Have a good night.
Thank you, y'all too.
Yes. All right, that was your winner, Jonathan Jennings. We're going to see if we can bring up our second place finisher, Justin McMahon. Justin, Daniel, and Jamie, you got us?
Yeah, gotcha.
Well, good run tonight, finishing second. What more did you need to go after that 25 truck and potentially get the win?
Another right front tire, I think. It was. It seems like any time I try to, I think I'm saving tires, and he kind of just goes that one step further and saves them even more. So it was. I needed another set there, but it was fun. That was a good race. I thought we might have had something for him because him and Chuck were battling pretty hard there at the end. So I was hoping that Jonathan was going to burn his stuff up a little bit more than he had all night and give me an opportunity to stay with him, but I couldn't quite stick with him there at the end.
Yeah, I was, just asked Jonathan, same thing, which he was out in front most of the night, besides when y'all were battling there at the end. But it seemed like you could utilize that draft a little bit when there was 3 or 4 of you together. But then as the tire wear started hitting, we'd see one fall off, and then the next one would fall off the end, and then eventually. But is that what you saw too? That you'd get a little run with the draft, but once you fell far enough back, you started kind of losing ground.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was arrow or what, but once you got a little bit of that tire wear in, and then the draft, I mean, I don't know if it like made you a little tight, especially in 1 and 2. But I mean, you developed a pretty good push there. But I think that's pretty accurate. When you're 2 or 3 together, I mean, you could stick with the leader there, but it just, well, yeah, once they started dropping like flies.
Oh, yep, for sure. So, well, definitely a good run, man. I mean, like I said, second place, something to be very proud of. You had a really good race, really fast truck. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, Group 6 for the sponsor on the truck. You guys for running the league and doing the broadcast. And shout out to everybody on the team at Loud Pedal Racing.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on a good, solid run. And look forward to seeing you this week in some racing.
All right, buddy. Thanks. See you, fellas.
Yeah, congratulations. Have a good night. All right, and we're going to bring up our third place finisher of Christopher Simon. Christopher, is Jamie and Daniel in the booth? You got us?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Man, we were talking earlier. It seems like every week you become a factor. Been improving week after week, and we like what we see. Tell us about your night. What more do you need to try to get up there to the to battle your teammate and Justin there at the end for the win.
My day was pretty well. I meant to say pretty good. Aside from like I did one mistake during the race. It's like during the first pit cycle, I spun the tires out and got loose and lost a lot of time there. But this didn't get it. Didn't got it. Didn't got the car around, so I was able to keep going, get the pit cycle all done, and all. And just kept going, and just ran my race there. And then the caution came out for the second time or the first time, and I was like, "Oh, gives me a little bit of a break because I was able to catch up with the other drivers up in the top three, and I just ran my race there afterwards. Just try to keep pace with them, but I think just later on, it's like I wasn't able to get through 1 and 2 better than they can, so I lost time. But afterwards, got up to the 75 at the last lap and passed them, got third.
Yeah, that was an awesome
Yeah,
pass there. Awesome battle between y'all the last lap or two side by side. No, so definitely a good battle, and congratulations on getting third from him.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I noticed tonight looked like you had a longer run truck too compared to some of these guys. How was you seeing the tire wear? Was you able to conserve that right front a little bit? Because I noticed at the end, you know, Chuck, had a good lead on y'all until he, kind of fell back, and then he kind of fell into the hands of you and Tyler there. So how was your tire wear you saw as the night went?
I said my tire was pretty good. I was able to I didn't like full throttle it in through 1 and 2, so I was just lifting there, just let it uh let it coast over there, and I was able to just throttle off after the turn. And also though in the 3 and 4 at some times I don't go all full throttle. Sometimes I lift off a tiny bit, so I save a little bit of tire wear on through 3 and 4, and then that's what I did for majority of the race. Unless it's go time, that's where I full throttle through 3 and 4, and also try to get a good angle going through 1 and 2 without lifting it too much, losing speed and all.
All right. Again, congratulations on another podium. Like I said, strong season. I was saying, you missed a race, but that drop race hits. I think you'll gain a little bit in points here as we go through the season. So congratulations. Got any shout outs?
Shout out to you guys for the broadcast. It's always nice to see the broadcast after the race and all. Shout out to the sponsors and all. Shout out to the admins of this league. They do a really good job. Shout out to my family. They always watch every race. They're likely watching right now, so shout out to them. I also want to shout out my teammates, Jennings, Chris, and Mike. Really fun guys to race with. Always fun racing with them. And yep.
All right. Well, we'll let you get on with your night. Again, congratulations. And we'll see you this week on the track.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
And that's going to round out our race winner show.
Yeah. Well, again, a really good night. And we'll move on to, I believe, North Wilkesboro next week. So that one, going short track racing on another track that will eat those tires. So looking forward to that one for sure.
Yeah, and it's a really fun track to run. So I think we'll see some good racing and see who can put in some practice between now and then, and hopefully give that 25 truck a run for his money next week.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, we want to appreciate everybody watching, and we'd appreciate if you liked and subscribed to Doghouse Racing TV. You can catch us here every Tuesday and every Sunday and Thursday nights. Also, you can watch Intensity Broadcasting on Tuesday night to check out our Gen 4 series. So, from Jamie and myself, we'll see you next Sunday at North Wilkesboro.